I want to see you get excited and worked up for once.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in to the adventures of Porno Man.
In my hot,
Porno Man.
juicy, nasty,
Do what with your what?
on your knees.
My.
Service me now.
I'ma grow up to be a dirty old man. Kicking it up and still flirt like I can. Pretending to drop shit to girls in the hand. And bend over to pick it up while I hurry get a glance up the skirt to see that pretty little ass. Thinking things to embarrass in the ass. Like, girl, is that your butt? Or is that just how you cover your backs? Shall we shack now or shack later?
Alright, let's talk about friends with benefits versus fuck buddies. So, my feeling on the subject. I am in my mid-40s now, and as I've explained before, I've seen and done quite a bit. But the one thing that has always boggled my mind, that's made me question my role in the world, has been the treatment of men and women to each other. As I've stated before, the whole a woman who sleeps around as much as a man being less worthy of respect and or marriage than a guy who does the same thing, I've always thought to be silly at very least and outright stupid at best. Anyway, so a lot of guys, especially when you're young, you look at having sex with women who are not your mate as a type of conquest. It's kind of like our society today in general. You get it, you use it up, you throw it away. Instead of probably a more conscientious and smarter idea of essentially recycling. A fuck buddy is something that you have for a while and you throw away. And, you know, that's it. Friends with benefits is something that you're going to recycle. You're going to keep this friend around for the foreseeable future, and maybe even a lifelong friend on top of it. So, definition for me of a fuck buddy is somebody who you obviously are having sex with, but there's no additional component to it. There are no long talks. There are no, hey, what's going on, how you doing? There's no, hey, let's go out to eat, go bowling. There's nothing else to it. It's, I got an urge, can you help me scratch it? And then that's it. And don't get me wrong, obviously, me being a swinger, I'm not really having an issue with casual sex. But that's not my problem with it at all. It's the treatment that you guys give to women behind that. So having a fuck buddy isn't an issue, because sometimes there are people that you are physically and sometimes sexually attracted to. You have almost nothing in common, or spending any real time around them was probably going to piss you off. And so that raw relationship of sexuality is what you guys have. It's what you're good at, and there's nothing wrong with that. But referring to her as a hoe, you know, if somebody asked you, would you consider dating her, and then you go, because she sleeps around, this, that, and the other, you would never think about it. Dude, you were sleeping with her. Like, first of all, that says more about you than it does her. Like, this is what you're sticking your dick in. Your dick, dude. Like, you know what you can get. I mean, never mind the venereal diseases. But that's one of, obviously, our very... It helps define who we are. And you're sticking your dick in it. And then want to act like she's not worth anything, despite the fact that you put one of your most precious possessions into her. Like, come on now. Don't be dumb. So, you gotta kind of change your thought process, in my opinion, on how we deal with our relationships between men and women. That doesn't mean put women on a undeserved pedestal. It doesn't mean that you have to give them more power than what they deserve or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. And women, I'll get into that later, because some of y'all think that because you have a pussy that means that you're deserving of some great platitude, or it makes you worthy of a guy going out of his way to do stuff and not even know that he's going to have an emotional attachment, or if you were going to have one. Like, you got to stop tripping. Like, don't get me wrong, pussy's gold. Okay, I'm not trying to say that it isn't, but at the same time, y'all got to stop acting like and expecting unrealistic shit for something that, as it stands right now, is fairly plentiful, especially in my area. So you need to act like you want to show something just as much as you want him to show something in order to get it. And if you're not, then don't be stupid and sitting around expecting something and you haven't provided anything to get it from them in the first place. And now, this isn't about who should do what first, but this definitely is about you can't expect something for nothing. Well, I'm giving him pussy. Well, he's giving you dick. So what? That has nothing to do with demanding to be wined and dined, and then you want to do all this. Well, he's got to wait 30 days, 90 days, whatever this rule that you guys make up before I do anything to make sure he's about it. And that's encouraging men to lie. So while lying in general is a bad thing, I absolutely agree with that. I'm all about being upfront and honest, but you're not. Now, don't get me wrong. If you say this to a guy and he chooses not to wait, your first thing is to go into how much of a dog he is and how he's not worthy. And that doesn't mean he's not worthy. It doesn't mean he's not a dog. What that does mean, however, is that he ain't seen shit from you that makes him say, I want to see more of what's going to happen. Without pussy. Like, if your pussy is the greatest thing that he had to stick around, that's kind of says something about you. But anyway, let me get off of that. Come back into what I was talking about in the first place. Anyway, so guys, instead of looking at this as a use them up and throw them away disposable situation, you might want to think about having people that enrich your life and give you sex. Doing this is smart for a variety of reasons. Women who are your friends will turn you on to some of their friends. One, as bragging rights. Two, because they're your friend and figure you might enjoy her as well because she's got her mind right, so why not? Three, it could lead to threesomes and foursomes where you're the only guy. It's happened. I'm telling you. Look at me. I'm not that great looking, so if it's happened for me, definitely happened for you. But you gotta change how you are looking at this and treating women so that they want to do it for you and feel comfortable giving it to you. So having a network of female friends who are willing to hang out with you, cook, eat, give you advice, especially once you got to the point where you're kind of feeling one particular girl over the other. These are friends who will help you move forward. Now, some bitches are fucked up, don't get me wrong, and they're going to try to sabotage you because either they want you for themselves or they ain't trying to give up the dick. Those aren't true friends, but not having true friends isn't isn't about the sex of the person. That's just about snake ass motherfuckers. So it doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. You know good and goddamn well some folks are just like that. So that's about choosing your friends well and making sure that they are friends as you go along, because everybody's got a snake in their garden somewhere. It's just a question of finding out which one it is. But these women can help you enrich your life in so many different ways. Again, the female friends I've had in my life have helped me with a variety of things, from my kids that were not theirs to money, people who I could rely on to have my back, who, if I had to go to jail, would bail me out. I mean, good friends who also gave me sex, who also introduced me to other women to have sex with, and we all remain friends. As a swinger, that, for me and my wife anyway, and for a lot of the people that we know, that's kind of the ultimate goal, actually, is to have a group of friends that you can do all the normal vanilla stuff with, going out, drinks, watch a game together, movies, whatever. And at the drop of a hat, at any moment's notice, just because you're feeling blue or she's looking great that day, and you say, it's been a minute, we should go home and work that out again. And it's okay. It's never a big deal. It's not going to be any issue. It's just a part of your friendship. Now, some guys will say, number one, that's too much work. First of all, anything worthy of having, and I don't care what it is, it's about the work. That's true about money. That is true about getting a sense of fulfillment from a job well done. It is the same in regards to helping to raise kids, because kids are a fucking handful. Anything that's truly worthy of having requires some work. If you are unwilling to put the work in, number one, that's your loss, and two, that kind of says some things about you. So, weak ass motherfuckers talk about it being work, while folks who are about it, if you're really about maximizing your enjoyment, then you're going to do whatever it is that you need to do so. Now, some of you are going to say some of these females out here don't know how to handle it. As one of our friends used to say, they don't understand the understanding, which is true. And that's unfortunately very true. But number one, it's not all women. It's not even most women. If you come at a female right from the beginning, respectful, you can even be dirty / creepy about it a little bit, because you're coming from an honest place, and either they're going to like you or they're not. Now, every woman you want isn't going to want you, and especially not for who you might be. And again, I know this is where that whole lying and trying to do stuff that you normally wouldn't do comes into place. And then, of course, that just turns around and that might suck them in. But you're sucking them in for somebody who you are absolutely not. That is a horrible, horrible lie. If a woman did the same thing to you, oh my God, how many different bitches and whores would she be? So I'm going to need you not to cry about something that you are going to do. If you're going to do it, don't cry about it. If you're going to cry about it, don't do it. So, instead of looking at the situation as a conquest, look at it as adding to your portfolio, like stocks, like how you amass wealth. Only this will be emotional wealth. That also has the interest of sex. Start looking at gathering friends. love and friendship does not take anything away, it only adds. And if you allow it to go running away from what you intended for it to be, in all likelihood, that's your fault, not theirs. And in regards to the women who are going to take things beyond where you said and or agreed it would be, well, you should take that, number one, as a compliment that she thought you were worthy of something more than just some dick. 2, that's not a reason to get all weirded out or anything. And don't get me wrong, it can be an uncomfortable situation to deal with, but it's a conversation. You gotta say, hey, you know I fuck with you. You know, I like hanging out with you and all that, but I'm not feeling that part of it. You know, I'm not feeling that I want to take it that far. Now, the knothead broad is going to get mad and, you know, either want to break it off completely, or she's going to want to call you all kinds of names and you ain't no shit anyway and blah blah blah. The smart one is going to say, well, how do you know? You haven't tried. Which, by the way, is kind of a good point. However, the only real reply you need back for that is, I don't want to try. And that's, and make sure that you're clear that that's doesn't say anything about her. That says about what you feel in your heart and what you think that you want. She can't reasonably argue about her feelings while totally ignoring yours. If her feelings are one way and she wants to take it one way, then she clearly has to be able to take your feelings into consideration that you don't. That doesn't make her right or wrong. It doesn't make you right or wrong. This is just, it is what it is. If she's a good friend and she's got her head on straight, it's going to sting. The same way as if you tried that and that's what she said to you, it's going to sting. And it should. I mean, rejection is not an easy thing to take, even for the best of us. But the friendship should be able to survive that because you're friends. People have this problem even when sex was not involved. A woman, somebody that you might be friends with at work, and y'all get real close, and y'all laugh and joke and giggle, and y'all have even gone out and had a little something to eat after work and stuff like that. And so now she's feeling you, and she makes that play, but you're not feeling it. It's still an awkward situation. It's still going to be something that, you know, might make things uneasy both at work as well as for your friendship, but it's a conversation that still needs to be had. And again, both sides need to make sure that you understand that any rejection of the idea of being together is not a reflection on the person. It's just the situation. You're not feeling it. All this to come back to friends with benefits. In my opinion, is a much more satisfying situation overall in the long run, for sure, and sometimes even in the short term. I understand fuck buddy thing is definitely good in the short term, but trust me, sooner or later, having a lot of women run through you, see, you thinking that you're running through women, but you really need to think about it. They're running through you too. Is going to create a situation eventually where you're going to be that guy that's going, wait, they all want to, you know, get my good, but ain't none of them trying to stick around. Ain't none of them got my back. And then if you think you got bad feelings about them now, it's going to really hit you then. So, consider having a more fulfilling relationship with the people you have sex with. Because here's my saying. If we're friends, we should be fucking. If we're fucking, we should be friends. And if we're not, why are we talking?
Does that mean you a dirty whore? Should have been me just telling you more to give a big throb and standing ovation. Guess I was just born to porn. Let me ask you something, baby.
Smack my ass.
Do I make you horny?
Smack my ass like you mean it.
Do I? Yeah!
Well, the scenario, and then she go. Should have named the song. I love a girl that swallows.
That had to answer. Yes, a bunch of mama said I'm too long. Little porn is a long porn.